Welcome to Radiant Health, where we're exploring the healing power of the Australian Arti. So get comfortable. Get comfortable in your own skin, whatever that means for you, taking deep breaths or shallow breaths, whatever breaths you want to take. You want to move your body a little, you're welcome to. As you settle in with full acceptance into the experience of being in your body. I'm going to play a version of the Australian Arti. It's called a Australian Arti cover. And I'm going to play the YouTube version of it with the photographs. So you're welcome to watch those photographs too if you want. And let yourself be immersed in the divine heartbeat, the divine pulse. Can you see this, the picture on my screen?
Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. O glorious eternal ancient one, your faces are bright transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart may hurt, I give to you to keep. Creator yet creationless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Who through compassion the three worlds maintains. Destroy this ignorance that life sustains. These five lights are the word spokes of bread of the world will that praise me unto death. Unless you who are infinitely kind break the world's heart which is conditioned mind. This incense is my love, these fruits my art, which to please you I have shaped from my heart. Accept them as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond its shining out. You are myself, I sing to you and pray, and beg your love to bear me through the days, till you, the ever-living perfect one, illume my darkness with your shining sun.
Continue to just let yourself bask in your own heartbeat and Baba's heartbeat merging. His heart and your heart beat as one. And keeping yourself in this energy, I'm going to read a paragraph written or transcribed from Erich Jesawala in the Advent. In the Arti, which means hymn of praise, which Francis Brabazon wrote, he used the expression truth and truth's body, divine avatar, which to my mind beautifully defines the Advent. Although the Sanskrit word avatar somewhat explains the Advent as the descent of reality into illusion. To the people of this era, truth and truth's body makes the whole concept of reality in the midst of illusion clearer. Truth is reality, and reality is truth. And the body that is taken on by truth is the body we see in the Advent, the figure of Meher Baba, or Jesus Christ, or Gautama Buddha. And I'm going to read that one more time. In the Arti Hymn of Praise, which Francis Brabazon wrote, he used the expression truth and truth's body, divine avatar, which to my mind beautifully defines the Advent. Although the Sanskrit word avatar somewhat explains the Advent as the descent of reality into illusion, to the people of this era, truth and truth's body makes the whole concept of reality in the midst of illusion clearer. Truth is reality, and reality is truth. And the body that is taken on by truth is the body we see in the Advent, the figure of Meher Baba, or Jesus Christ, or Gautama Buddha. Later on in that writing, Erich goes on to describe reality as this great effulgence, this radiance, the radiance of reality into illusion. And so we're exploring the second stanza of the Australian Arti tonight, which goes, creator yet creationless you are, truth and truth's body divine avatar, who through compassion the three worlds maintains, destroy this ignorance that life sustains. And now let's open it up and open up microphones and expression and share anything that you're feeling right now in this moment about the healing and the arti, about what you've listened to, whether it was in the music or in the words, and whatever it might be manifesting through you that Baba is transmitting.
Well, it's interesting that before we began, I started to sway. And I really experienced this version of the Arti very much as a chant. And so I find that when I chant, I start, my body starts to sway, or, in the Jewish tradition, it's a kind of davening. It's a reverence, which feels like a movement towards union, and the heartbeat in what I experienced as a chant just sort of facilitated that union, that sense of approaching union for me. So it's quite luscious, actually.
It's a wonderful word for it, luscious.
So I'll just keep swaying if you don't mind.
Would love that.
Well, we rock babies. So you're
Mhm.
just being rocked by Mayor Baba's presence is all.
That's also a Zoroastrian tradition, the rocking.
Is it?
Yeah, so we were on a call the other day talking about the Gujarati Arti, you know, how to say the words. We got into so much detail you wouldn't believe. And a woman came on who's from Persia to rescue us. and and she was talking about that, and also she was talking about the migrations from Persia to India and when they happened, and basically they went to Gujarat, and she was explaining that the Persians who came continued to speak Farsi but also spoke Gujarati, and anyway, and somehow in the middle of all of that she was talking about the Zoroastrian swaying that is done. I don't know what kind. I don't know whether it's back and I think it's back and forth. I mean, side to side. To me, the first of all, I'm confused because I didn't know what this meeting was about, and I guess it's a meditation, and I really had no idea what radiant meditation was referring to. But I've thought about. Normally, I'm listening to Terry Gross at this time, but it was a terrible conversation. So anyway, but the music sounded like a Gregorian chant. It's just like a Gregorian chant. And the images were really beautiful. I really love those. They're kind of surprising images, you know, and the building moving like a heartbeat and things like that. It's kind of mixes up some ways of thinking about things. And the last one was kind of interesting, Mara and Baba with a I don't know that was an angel or a baby, or I wondered what that was all about, unless it's meant to be the new humanity.
That looked to me like what I saw at the Sufi Center in Walnut Creek in the lower level. Well, there's many lower levels because it's earthquake proof, but the paintings, it reminded me of that. I don't know if it was taken from the same artist that did that or taken from that property itself, but that's what that at the end, Elizabeth, reminded me of, that kind of painting.
Who did the chanting? Who did that cover?
I couldn't figure out the name, but I didn't spend a lot of time doing it. If you Google Meher Baba Australian Arti cover on YouTube, that's what you'll get.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Cover. Yeah. I appreciated the heart. I'll share now. I appreciated the feeling in my body of that heartbeat and the flashes of Baba's picture, you know, when that would come, and to link me up, my heart with his form in reverence and prayer. And I mean, who knows what state Baba of the infiniteness he's in when he's in that picture. And the pictures of the world and the moon spinning around the earth. And I was feeling like the energy of incarnation when the 5 perfect masters called him down. And then when Hazrat Brabazon gave him the kiss, and then with the rock thrown at his head, and being with Upasni Maharaj for all those years to come to gross consciousness. I was just feeling the infinite power that's beyond my imagination when I listened to that chant.
Yeah, I really, the heartbeat, it was so helpful. And then when you invited us to, you know, almost merge with the heartbeat, then it just brought me to such peace and expansiveness. So it was a real opportunity then to just sink into Baba's peace, which my mind has been, and even my heart has been beating very fast. So, you know, and which my heart doesn't usually beat as fast you know, I'm not conscious of it beating as fast, but I've been conscious of it beating fast. And it was almost a fast heartbeat in the meditation, but so it synced up and then it kind of slowed down and my mind slowed down. So thank you. It made me very happy to feel this. I've had a busy day, so.
You know, some of those images remind me of the 7 realities meditation that Roshni does.
Mhm.
And she also uses the heartbeat. And some of the light displays in this particular group, like they did the world, and then there was a splash of light, you know, and when there was one part where they had at least three images of the world in different places. And one of those images, you could see red and green and yellow, which looks to me like more like a geological survey map that would come from outer space showing vegetation, or not a topographical map, but more that shows where it's desiccated or where there might either be environmental pollution or, you know, healthy planets. So I was thinking about the health of the planet and the environmental aspects of the planet. But the other thing regarding the energy, because that with all the displays of light in this particular video, that was also going on in the meditation. And I don't know, you were there, Cindy, this past weekend. And I think it was this past weekend. No, the one before. And I was deliberately trying to use my body in the meditation, which I'd never done before. So through the whole thing. And
Is this of the 7 realities in the chakras?
yes, but I was doing it from the very beginning and trying to think of the energetic aspects and the energetic aspects within the body, kind of like Dr. Brown's polarity therapy and all those different energy fields. But in any case, at one point, Roshni said to me, Elizabeth, do you see that light coming in? And literally there was light like sun rays coming in on top of me. And when she called my attention to it, I could see it. But so that to me was tying up with what you were doing. I really don't know what that was about. I'd like to know what that was about, but I've never, anyway, it was, if I had seen it on someone else, I would have been amazed. It was just sunlight coming through the window, but it was like splayed light, you know, like rays of light. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember, and the line from the second stanza, which is the focus of this this meeting, the picture that in the Meher Baba Australian Arti cover was of Baba in the upper left-hand corner, radiating light like that. And the words were, destroy this ignorance that life sustains. So that light coming to, you know, coming down, I feel that it's again in my crown so strongly, to destroy this ignorance that life sustains, but with such beautiful destruction too, as the light comes in and meets.
Well, and then the words truth and truth's body, divine avatar. So that gives us a different kind of meaning to truth's body that's more physical and energetic, I think, you know. But, you know, I'm also a person who's been going around saying, where are the truth sayers? We need the truth sayers. You know, and I've been very frustrated that people in positions of power are not speaking the truth. It's driving me nuts. And
well, I'll share with you later on, that's a pretty long reading or writing from Erich. What he defines as truth is just one. He said there's not more than one truth. The truth, the body is the oneness. And so that's what I think with myself and my body, like the opportunity that Radiant Health, the forum that has been born for this time, is to have that oneness, that effulgence, that radiant life, that truth and truth's body merge with ours.
I'm sorry, what is the generation of Radiant Health? I'm sorry, I don't know where it came from.
It came from Angela asked me if I would lead a forum on the Circle of Friends. And there is Baba, one of Baba's declarations to his lovers is that I want you to be a Baba Center personified, radiating my eternal message of love divine, living a life of love, sacrifice, honesty. And out of that inspiration is, what does it mean? What does radiant health mean? This business of being in the body, to be a lover of God and understand that we are not the body. We are so much more than that, but still to inhabit this vehicle. And we worked on, with the first 5, Radiant Health was on Life of the Spirit, where Baba talks about that a rider needs a horse if the rider is to go forward. And for that same way, we need a body. And if our body yields to the claims of our spirit as it should, it is instrumental in bringing down the kingdom of heaven on earth. It is a vehicle for the release of divine life, and it might aptly be called the temple of God on earth. So that resonates with me, having had body issues for much of my life. And to make peace with that and to allow Baba's radiance and guidance. And I have had the experience in the last week as I've been just meditating or letting things flow through for this session about truth and truth's body. If Baba and I are one, like you are myself, I sing to you in praise. I have been, like, even in this moment, I'll invite us all to consider that you are truth's body. Like to we breathe into that, whatever truth is from that state of unfathomable oneness, that you in this form, the temple of God on earth, truth's body.
That's a lot to live up to.
I like to think of it as allowing now, rather than some pressure-filled thing I have to get to, is to allow the natural, let Baba do the work. That was one thing I've never really given to Baba, is the relationship with my body I thought I had, but it wasn't until a couple weeks ago, before we did the 7th reality on real surrender, and the one before that was real control about the senses of the body, and it was right after Thanksgiving, where I didn't have any real control with the turkey and the stuffing and the pie and all of that. And I thought, I need Baba, you got to take over my body. I can't, this is it. And then the last reality was the only real surrender. And I thought, oh, and Baba, you know, said to me, that's the only thing you've never really given me, is your relationship with your body. So this forum, I think, and for Baba lovers, I mean, I know that many of us have, and I think there's always more, but to give in a way that is aware, is awake. Baba is the awakener. And so truth and truth's body, the reverence for this precious human form, the reverence for the flower that is each of you, each of all of us.
And you know, it's so interesting because they showed flowers in the tomb, you know, and putting flowers in the tomb, you know, no significance beyond the present hour. You know, I love flowers. To me, they're really very, very important, even though I know they don't last. Except maybe it's the isness of the flower that's reminiscent of the avatar.
Beautiful.
I actually think that the truth's body is our birthright. And it's universal. And I think that's where the allowing comes in. Because when we fully allow and we fully surrender, we know the truth of that.
What do you mean, Susan, by birthright?
I mean that, my sense of a lot of what we're doing here, why we choose to return, is to come to know the truth of our divinity. And so therefore we all come with that inherently already in us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
You know, Susan, I'll share something with you that I normally would not share in a Baba group at all. The last time I was in India, not the last time, the time before.
Larry, would you like me to stop the recording for this part?
Yes, that would be really good.
I'll read
That's
it
a
up when you're done.
great idea.
So that notion of our divinity as our birthright, as that piece of purpose here, I'm so inspired by that. I mean, later on, we've talked about at the last meeting about the whole Arti, the Australian Arti, which was the first Arti written for Western lovers to sing in 1962 by Francis. The beginning of the last line, which this whole series will culminate to, "You are myself, I sing to you in praise." And that significance of us having that divinity in us and being aware of that, I think of that where Baba says false modesty begets weakness, where greatness begets humility. To own our greatness, knowing that it's not my precious, my ego taking hold of it, but it is, we are the most glorious creation, the most magnificent outcome of this whole shebang or shebig bang.
Yeah, one little thing I can share with you, and it's fine. Years ago, when I lived in San Francisco, I used to go to the Vedanta Society. I used to have a very good friendship with Agnes Barron, and she encouraged me to go there. She said, "You'll learn a lot there if you're in San Francisco." She was a Vedantist in the old days. And I'd been going there for quite a long time. And the other people would have appointments with the Swami there. And after a couple of years, I thought, it's kind of rude. I haven't met with this man. So I made an appointment with him. And in the appointment, the first thing he asked me was, tell me about your, how do you meditate? They're very much into meditation. And I said, well, Swami, I explained to him that I was a follower of Meher Baba. And I said, the way that I meditate, I said, this is what I try to do. When I wake up in the morning, I try to think, oh, Meher Baba's waking up. And then when I go to the bathroom, I say, Meher Baba's going to the bathroom. Meher Baba's making his coffee. Meher Baba's Meher Baba's checking his email. And that's how I go through the day. And I said, I really don't meditate. And the Swami looked at me and he said, you don't meditate? I said, no, I just kind of do that. And he says, don't you realize you're doing one of the highest forms of meditation possible, if that's what you're trying to do during the day. And I thought, oh, that's good. But it was, that's to me what we should be doing, is thinking like that. It's Meher Baba living this life now.
And I can feel the natural dissolution of the ego, the unhealthy ego that takes over when we do that.
Yeah, it becomes a more natural process.
Larry, would you share with the group what you had been talking about, what we were talking about beforehand about Truth's body? Erich later in that writing talks about Baba's body and the importance of his body in an Avataric Advent. What you have been discovering with photographs of Meher Baba and the different energies that emanate from them?
Yes, I've been studying energy for years. I'm what they call I'm into biogeometry. So I've studied energy and sacred places, and that's gone off into studying architecture and how architecture amplifies energy, and studying the cathedrals of Europe and all, that whole thing. So it's a very big process, but I've discovered lately, doing some testing and stuff, and it's quite sophisticated because it took me years to learn this, that Baba's photos are really energy generators. It's amazing. the power that is coming out of those photos. And so I encourage people, you know, while you're home during the pandemic and you don't have anything to do, pull out some of those pictures and spend time with them, because they are really, really helpful on an energetic, spiritual level. I really believe that.
So I took your advice, Larry,
Yes.
and went through the whole love personified. And I was doing what you suggested, which is see what, you know, comes out to you, which photographs. And there are certain ones that that a person relates to more than others. And I mean, I didn't mark them, but I'm sure if I went back, I could find them again. But they, I don't know whether it's because it reminds you of maybe sometime, perhaps a previous lifetime or something, or, you know, I don't know what it is, but certain ones, like almost all the early ones, draw me in.
Mhm.
And all of the ones in Portofino, the one on that cart in Bijapur, I think it's called, and various other places like that. Anyway, I've been trying to see, but the thing is, I have no idea what it means. You know, I just know which ones draw me.
Who does really? But it's another opportunity to meditate and look on his physical form, because I think there's lots of meaning just by looking at his physical form.
I've been noticing that since Sunday. I think it was Sunday at Effort and Grace when you had mentioned that. And I have gone on your website, Larry. It's really fabulous. I really do enjoy like the work that you've been doing. And I've been noticing what appeals to me, because it just must be just, you know, my body as a barometer helping me connect with Baba, and the different pictures that elicit different feelings. The picture of Baba, the one you said with the healing power, it's the one where he looks like Jesus, that's on the front of Arnavaz's book, Gift of God. That one, I have to kiss him on the lips every time I see it. It's like, oh, Baba, hello. You know, it's just wonderful. It's like definitely healing for that. And I have a small picture with Baba with one of the monkeys, and he's looking in, and I just think it's like he's helping me with my monkey mind. just focus that. Hi, Marcia. I'm glad you're here.
I have one that's across from my bed, and it's like illuminated around it. And if I look in one eye, it's like, and then if I'm thinking something, he's smiling. I think he's smiling at me right now. Yeah. I've got a lot of photographs, and there's some that I really, really love, but there's just, this one is so magnetic. It's like, whoa, you know, it's like alive. Yeah.
So you see the painting behind me, Baba on the white donkey. That one's by Lori Bloom. It's a cliche, but that is one of the paintings and one of the pictures that really appeals to me. Baba on the donkey, and you can see that in Love Personified. And I think Mara's with him. And I too, like you, Cindy, the one of that photograph of Baba where he looks like Jesus. That one's actually in my kitchen and looks at me all day long. Anytime I'm in my kitchen. But in terms of energy and photographs, one time a friend of mine went to Mujagahora, which is where the Virgin Mary appeared to the children. You guys remember that story?
Mhm.
So she took a picture of it and she gave it to me. And when I looked at it, I would get cold chills all up and down my body. I've lost that picture, that photograph, but I think I'm going to look for it again after hearing what Larry said the other day, because there must be something in that particular photograph. I mean, I didn't expect that, and that doesn't happen all the time, but it certainly happens with that particular photograph.
We're getting close to completion for this evening. It's a lovely 44-minute adventure because I love the number 44. Baba was silent for 44 years. The Meher Spiritual Center dedicated 1944, plus it's just a really fun number. as well as all the other cool stuff. And today being Mani's birthday, I mean, I know there was the celebration at noon today. I wasn't able to be part of that. But what kept popping up on my feed, I wanted to see if I could find Mani singing the Australian Arti, which I was not able to find. But what kept popping up when I would search for that was this little clip of Mani, and I listened to it, and I would like to bring this to conclusion by playing that for us. And she talks about it's, you know, it's delightful. Mani, talk about like a body, an Energizer Bunny body. And she talks about when she learned to drive. I mean, maybe you've probably seen this before. And as you know, this is all ever fresh, as Baba says, all these stories. And when she describes Elizabeth, how Elizabeth takes care of a car like a body, I felt like that's why Baba kept showing this to me, that the dedication and care for this truth's body and this vehicle for the divine life, the release of divine life on the planet. And like comes later in the Arti, like accept it as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond this shining hour. So for this shining hour for our bodies, I'll bring it to completion by playing that. If that is that all right with everyone? Would you like to see that?
I love it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I'm going to mute you again and then do that, play it.
And Baba said, Mani is to learn driving. And she used to take Kitty and the others, wherever. Elaine was there at the time too. This was in Ajmer, 40 maybe, 40, 41. So I was taught by Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth took a car to be a person. The respect she had for the car, the detailed knowledge she had of the car, the way she could convey the importance of the different parts of a car was amazing. I mean, before I sat behind the wheel, I knew the mechanic, the body of the car, like it was a person. The liver, the spleen, the kidneys, the everything. You know, what happens when you reverse the clutch, or when you put the car in clutch and first gear, second gear, third gear, what happens? Every little thing. It was so wonderful. But then she had me sit behind the wheel and she was teaching me. And one thing she found rather strange, that I was very good at going backward. I was much better at reverse than I was going forward. And she said to me once, she said, Manny, dear, she always called me Manny, like my father did. And she said, Manny, dear, you'll have to go forward sometime. And I said, yes. So I did go forward. I was good at it, as she told me, but I still was better at going backward. So then when I learned it, but in the before I could completely go through my education of driving with her, like signs and things like that, Elizabeth and Norina were sent back to the States for some work. So here I was, ready to have my license, but I had to take my license in a stranger's car, a hired car, a little hired car, which is nothing like Elizabeth's car, which she kept so beautiful. But still, and here was this Indian driver who was very nervous about me for some reason. Although everybody said how good I was, he was nervous, and his Indian accent, you know. So when I would drive, he would say horn, horn, meaning blow the horn. But he said haran, haran, which means a deer. So I said, I would look out for the deer. Where is the deer? I couldn't find the deer. Anyway, the great day came. I had to go and have get my license. And Baba had heard, and everybody knew that the man, the English, because we were in the during, this is all during the British Raj. So as the Englishman there, he's a very tall guy, very strict, very hard. And they said, everybody said, he won't give her a license. He's that hard as nails. Oh, said Baba. So Baba had a cable telegram sent to Ramju, who was in Satara or Nasik somewhere, and said, come quickly, because Ramju was, you know, a car worm, not a bookworm, but a car worm. He knew everything about cars, and he could speak about cars, and he would help. He would be of help. So, but in the meantime, I had to go. My date was fixed. So everybody helped. Elaine, I still remember, she'd knitted mittens out of silk, cream-colored silk thread, you know. So I had those, so the tips of my fingers could still be out. But Mara gave me her best handkerchief. Somebody gave me this, you know, and I was all dressed, and I was looking very presentable. In those days, during the British regime, you really had to look proper. You know, you had to see that, and that would help my cause. So even if I didn't do it very well, he might still give me, I don't know. Anyway, I was all ready. Everybody was out, you know, greeting me, well wishes, and sending me off. And Baba's there and says, not to worry. And then, where is Ramju? Why doesn't has Ramju come? Has Ramju come? And I've gone there. Now, this guy is so tall, I had to put my head out of the window and look up to see him. Inflexible face, no smile, no thing. There were no robots in those days. And he said, it's those two trees in the back there. Quite some distance away, there were two trees, far apart only to allow a car through. Only that. And quite at a distance, he says, reverse, go through those trees, come right back here. How Baba. I zoomed, and before he knew it, I was there. He looked so startled. He was so amazed. They said he makes you go through the paces endlessly. Not a single other test would he give me. After this performance, I mean, I must be an ace at driving. He just went in, wrote that thing, gave it to me. He still looked surprised, you know. So I said, thank you, sir. And I went home, and I give Baba this telegram, and Baba, you know, so happy I've achieved this for Baba. And Baba takes the telegram, so happy. He gives me an embrace. Everybody else, and then somebody brings a thing, says, just to let you know, Baba, Ramju has just arrived. Yeah. I was so happy he didn't come earlier. I didn't need his help at all, only Baba's help. We were in Ajmer, and Baba said, Mani is to learn driving, and she's to take Kitty.
Well, thank you all so much. Feel free to unmute. Jai Meher Baba. I think that Jai Meher Baba.
That was adorable.
And imagine that's destroyed the ignorance that life sustains just by laughing. Oh, that's beautiful, Marcia.
That's my Baba picture that I'm in love with. Yeah.
Oh, truth and truth body.
I'll show you another. This is really cool. This is one of my favorite.
Yeah.